Hey there, I'm Kyle.
And I'm Michelle, and we're the Wandering Shores.
So we are on our next adventure to a national park, and
Should we show them where we're at?
can you tell from what's behind us? Probably not. Let's turn. Do, 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 do.
Now?
Oh, Michelle, come on in here.
Now can you tell?
We are at the Grand Canyon. So, little known fact, or maybe some of you guys that know us for a while know, that back in 2004 we made our first trip here. We were actually in Albuquerque for a work conference and drove up to the Grand Canyon to do a little day trip, and I may have proposed. So we got engaged here at the Grand Canyon.
We sure did.
However, that was only we were only here literally probably an hour and a half and had to drive back. It was a heck of a drive. So this is going to be a fantastic opportunity. We're going to do a lot of hiking while we're here. We are camped in the Kaibab National Forest. We are boondocking. We originally had campground reservations at one of the campgrounds here in the park called Desert View. It's way out on the east side, at the east entrance. However, when I reserved it, it said, hey, maximum length is 30 feet. Our camper's 28.9, so I figured that's fine, we'll fit in there. But apparently 30 feet was the maximum combined between the camper and the car. So we couldn't get in the spot that we had reserved. So we ended up having to bail on that and went over to some free boondocking that was about 20 miles away. And we're able to stay there for free. I'm not sure how long we're gonna be here. I'm guessing probably 4, 5, 6, 7 days, something like that. We're gonna wait and see what the weather's like before we decide when we're gonna head out. But we're glad you're joining us, and we got some trails that we're going to do, maybe some biking and some sightseeing. So we'll take you along. Thanks, guys. Day 1, hike number 1, Grand Canyon. So today we are on what trail, Michelle?
We're on the Rim Trail.
Rim Trail. So we started from the Bright Angel Trailhead, and it is about 7.5 miles one way going west. Then you have the option of either hiking it back, or the nice thing about this is, depending upon how things are going, you can actually take the shuttle back. So we're going to see how we feel when we get to the end. I think we're probably going to end up taking the shuttle back because we will have already seen all the scenery on this trail, and it'll save us some time, and we can go on another adventure with that time allotment. So quick view of our starting point. Way down there, I can't really see it too well right now, but that's where all the folks that are doing the Bright Angel Trail are. That goes all the way down to the Colorado River, and I think it's about 3,000 or 4,000 feet of elevation or descent, and then obviously you got to climb back up. But we're not sure if we're going to do that yet. We just may. So follow along. We just stopped at the first Overlook and thought this might be a perfect chance to give you guys a better view of the Bright Angel Trail. Pretty impressive. So I don't know if you can see, but starting up there is the trailhead where all the cars are parked. Goes down, wraps around, just keeps wrapping around, and then as you can, there is a mule train, so you can rent a mule and walk down and back up the Bright Angel Trail. A couple updates we wanted to throw out there for you if you're coming this way. Number one, and again, we're only quarter mile into the trail, but I believe the Rim Trail is paved the whole way. Now, you're not going to be rollerblading out here. It's pretty choppy, but there is asphalt, and stones. So it is paved, so you don't necessarily need hiking boots. Second, depending upon where you're coming from, keep in mind that you're at 8,000 feet of elevation. So the oxygen is much thinner up here, and so you get winded a lot quicker. And I'm not just making excuses for why we're winded. But the first section of this is pretty much all uphill. And so just keep that in mind. You know, we're from Indiana, so we operate somewhere around 2,000 feet of elevation on normal day. And where we just came from down in Sedona, we were at 2,300, so it was pretty much the same. But then by the time we got up here, we're close to 8,000. So it's quite an elevation change. So just be advised, you might want to give yourself a couple days, if you have it, to get accustomed to the lower level of oxygen. Thought we might give you a 360 of the second overlook. So we are at Hoppy Point Overlook, and unfortunately, as has been the situation before, so we may take a couple still photos and insert them into this picture here. But with this wide-angle lens on the GoPro, you can't really see great detail far away. But we'll show you the Colorado River down in the middle of the canyon. You can see the rapids, you see the water flowing, it's gorgeous. We just hit the 4-mile mark. Pretty amazing trail, as you can imagine. Quick update, it's no longer concrete or asphalt. It definitely turned into rock and gravel, so keep that in mind. You may not just want to wear tennis shoes. And we had a nice little section there that we walked with one of the employees. She is the Park Service employee who works at Mather Campground. So getting all the ins and outs of what's going on around this national park. So that was really fun, and we're having a great time. One of the other things she mentioned to us regarding Bright Angel, she said the individuals here at the Park Service do not recommend that people try to hike down it and up it in one day, at least all the way down to the river. There is a plateau that you can hike to and then come back up, but even that is extremely challenging. So going on the Bright Angel Trail down to the river and back up in one day is not going to be an option for the Wandering Shores this year. We're back. So it looks like we've got about 4.1 miles left to get to Hermit's Rest, but we are at one of the other stops. Probably just saw the bus go by. We'll explain that whole process once we get down to the other end, but just wanted to show you this overlook. Yeah, when you first get here and you get your first view of the canyon, we were telling the park employee that it almost looks fake. It looks like something in a movie, and you can't believe that, you know, you're standing there and this massive hole in the ground is right in front of you. So hopefully you guys can get out here and enjoy this national park yourselves, but if not, at least you can see it through our eyes a little bit in our video. We're back and we're closing in on the final stretch. So we're at about 8.5 miles. They said it was a 7.5 mile trail, but when you go to the outlooks, obviously that's going to add a little bit of distance. From about mile marker 7 till mile marker 9, you start to walk on a paved multi-use trail. It's called the Greenway Trail, but there's still signs that say Rim Trail as well. So if you get out here, don't get confused. it changes from, you know, dirt and rock and gravel to paved at about mile marker number 7. So we'll let you see what Hermit's Rest looks like when we get there here shortly. So we made it to Hermit's Rest. It's a lot busier out here. It looks like what people do is they take the bus out here and then either hike back or ride back, because you can put your bike on the front of the bus. So they have a little convenience store with some food, sandwiches, etc. out here. So it's definitely a nice place to stop. Good morning. So looks like today's video is going to be probably disrupted by wind and sound because I'm having to use my phone because I forgot to put the memory card in the GoPro before we left. So I've got the GoPro but just no memory card. So we are at Grand View Point right now, and Michelle and I are pretty sure this is where we got engaged back in 2004. We're going to hike down the trail a little bit and see if we can find the spot. So just wanted to show you guys the overview. We found it. We found the place that we got engaged back in 2004, right there in that spot. Yep. Oh, there's a bunch of graffiti under here now. I don't remember that from when we were here before. Here she comes. We made it to Engagement Point, as we call it, since this is where we got engaged on October 24th, 2004. We were here on a quick visit to the Grand Canyon, driving up from Albuquerque, which we probably already told you, and hiked down Grand View Trail, just probably, you know, maybe quarter mile, and saw this little outcropping of rock. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what it looks like. So here was the view. We are on our way back up South Kebab from Point. And it was 0.9 miles down. And when I say down, I mean down, down, down. I think it was about 700 feet of elevation within that mile. So guess what? Now we gotta hike up it. So we'll take you along, show you what we see. The wind is really bad today, and obviously I'm having to tape this on my cell phone, so the sound is probably a quick shot of where we're headed. You can see all those people in the switchback up there. We got to get up to the top of that cliff there. All right, we made it back. We made it up to the top of South Kebab, and it wasn't as challenging as I thought it was going to be coming back up.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, you know, you're walking down. It almost felt more dangerous and difficult going down. Plus the trail's really busy, so you know you don't want to hold people up, but then there's people coming up the trail and you're trying to go down it, and vice versa when you're coming back up. So but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Super windy, which made it a little more challenging. There was a bunch of dust storms that kicked up and blow in your face, some rocks, but yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun. So we stopped by the visitor center today, got our stamp, and checked out Mather Point Lookout, and then we're gonna go into this town of Tuscany here for lunch today, and we are going to have to pick up some propane and